Halloween is rolling around again soon. While I don't really do anything special on that day, some of my favorite games fit right into the Halloween tradition, and that's the perfect excuse to replay them again. This time of the year is usually great for playing games as the weather is getting colder and the nights are getting darker, at least where I live, but the stress of Christmas preparation still hasn't quite set in yet. In any case, here are some of my favorite Halloween-themed games. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I actually dismissed this game when I first heard about it, because some magazine I read gave it a bad review. They said it felt outdated because it wasn't 3D. Well, joke's on them, because this game has aged better than nearly every other game released on the PlayStation 1. When I finally realized how great this game was, I had to hunt down a used copy, which I'm glad I did because this game is amazing. While older Castlevania games were great and would fit right in with the season, this game was the first that took the Castlevania setting and mixed it with the gameplay of Metroid, while also adding in some RPG elements. This led people to call the genre Metroidvania, as many Castlevania games started to follow the same formula. If you're not familiar with this game, in it you play as Alucard, Dracula's son, who awakens from his slumber after the events of Castlevania 3 to face down his resurrected father. While the voice acting in this game can be straight up bad at times, everything else is amazing. The graphics are great, the music is fantastic, and the gameplay is fun and addicting. This is a game you can play through each Halloween and not get bored. Vampire Savior. This game is sometimes known as Darkstalkers 3 outside of Japan, as a PlayStation 1 version of the game was released with that name. The arcade machine never really made it out of Japan, however, and that's a shame, as it's one of the best fighting games of all time. It takes the characters introduced in the original Vampire or Darkstalkers and tweaks the gameplay to make it a lot faster and a lot more fun. Unlike Vampire Hunter, the sequel to Vampire, this game has no rounds. Instead, your character is just knocked down when your health bar is depleted, similar to the way Killer Instinct works. This keeps the pace up and helps the game feel a lot more intense. Even though the game came out originally in 1996, it's still one of the best fighting games out there, both in terms of gameplay, animation, style, and wackiness, making it a great game to pick up again every Halloween. The easiest way to play it now is to pick up the Capcom Fighting Collection that came out in 2022. Luigis Mansion 3. Nintendo isn't usually the company you think of when it comes to survival horror. And that's true here as well. Luigi's Mansion is not scary at all, of course, but like other Nintendo games, it's a lot of fun. This time Luigi and the gang stay at a hotel that ends up being haunted. His friends are trapped in paintings, and it's up to Luigi to get them out. Same as in earlier games, Luigi can stun ghosts with his strobe bulb and snag them with his poltergust. A new mechanic in this game is Guigi, which is an ectoplasmic copy of Luigi that can help out in battles or be used to solve puzzles. This game is really fun. House of the Dead Remake. I used to play this series a lot in Japanese arcades back in the day. It's an on-rails shooter that you play with a light gun in the arcade, but it can also be played with a controller or a mouse if you play it at home. The original, released in '97, played a part in the zombie revival in Japanese games of the late 90s, together with Resident Evil. The ports of this game might not give you the exact same experience as you had back in the day in the arcades, but the 2021 remake is still a lot of fun. If you don't like shooting, there's always Typing of the Dead, in which you need to type out words as fast as possible to take out zombies. If you need to speed up your typing skills but hate normal typing practice, then this game is for you. Death Smiles. This game is something as unlikely as a goth and occult themed bullet hell shooter, featuring a unique cast of characters. This game was first released in 2007, with a sequel coming out in 2011. Both games can be found bundled for cheap on Steam and the like. There aren't that many games like this released anymore, so it's fun to dive back in from time to time. Unlike most other bullet hell shoot 'em up games, this game has that cute horror look that fits well for Halloween. It also adds one thing that I wish more shoot 'em ups would introduce, and that's the ability to turn around and shoot behind you. Resident Evil Remake. This remake is so good that it more or less replaced the original for me. You play as either Jill or Chris and end up locked up in a mansion where it's clear that certain experiments have gone extremely wrong. While the other games have been great, there's just something special about going back to the original Spencer Mansion. The mansion just has a different feel than the police station or city from Resident Evil 2 and 3, or any other location from the rest of the series. It's just a perfect setting for a game like this, being stacked with secrets to explore, sometimes feeling like a huge mansion, while at other times feeling cramped and claustrophobic. What makes this game so great is that it both offers you tense gameplay by making the enemies hard to kill and limiting the amount of weapons and ammunition you can carry, but it also allows you to unravel the story of what happened to the mansion through the gameplay. There are so many small stories and details to discover, not just by watching cutscenes and reading notes, but by the way the mansion is laid out and where the enemies are placed. This remake still holds up today, so if you haven't played it in a while or are new to it, I highly recommend that you pick it up. Those are just some of my picks. If you have any other favorites, please share them below. If you liked the video, give it a like, and for more videos related to gaming, check out this playlist. To support the channel, you can also buy me a coffee using the link below.